Dulce et decorum is a poem about war and the horrific effects of those who were in World War One. Wilfred Owen served in the British Army during the First World War, and he believed that the way society glorified war and made it like everyone was a hero wasn't fair because the bitter truth of going to war caused physical and psychological damage. Um, he did suffer at war with injuries and was unconscious for several days. And he kind of wrote this poem showing both the physical and emotional trauma of soldiers and what they went through during the war. Now, he's writing it as a British soldier, so he's looking at it going after the Germans during the First World War, and he's looking at the propaganda that came out to encourage young people in Britain to sign up for war, and how that wasn't fair to them because of the brutality of war. So when you read it, the imagery is strong, really brings you to what's happening, and you see it. And looking at stanza one, you can see that the British soldiers would go from trench to trench, and it would bring them further into France to get these German soldiers. And we can see that it was this horrible walk, and it was wet, and the soldiers were just exhausted. Um, Lots of strong words, trudged and limped to show what they were going through. And then in stanza two, the whole pace changes from this exhaustion to running on pure adrenaline when they hear gas, gas, quick, boys. So the gases that were used was a mustard gas and a chlorine gas that would go into the air. It would burn their skin. It would cause intense vomiting. It would cause weeks of suffering before someone would die for inhaling the gas. So when they hear that term, they're quickly trying to get to their helmets, their gas masks, these heavy helmets they'd have to carry on them and then wear to prevent the gas from taking them over. So we see, again, word choices that lead to speed, to hurry, a frantic demand for their helmets. And then this one soldier doesn't get his helmet on in time. And Owen sees him floundering like a man in fire or lime. And then in stanza three, we get even more in depth of it. So it's saying, in all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. So we see what he's going through. So it kind of takes us away from what's happening in the rest of the poem. And it shows how these men are tortured by the events of war, even after they are no longer at war. You can't get away, you can't escape. Stanza four, he kind of condenses to quickly wrapping the poem up as if something's smothering. Very graphic, horrific description of the suffering that victims of this gas endured. They had froth-corrupted lungs, incurable sores on their skins, the white eyes withering in the face. A lot is happening, and there's just a contrast between the stillness of the background and the animation of what this poor victim is going through. It draws empathy from the readers. It pulls them in. It makes them feel throughout the poem of what's happening. And again, really just the point of it was to show how all the propaganda that drew people to war made them look like heroes and made them excited for it. However, the reality of it was war was difficult and torturous for these young kids.